That's so cool. You want some ice cream? Where's the will, there's a way. Alright guys, so where we're heading to now is to the very west coast of Tottori Prefecture. Now I came up from Okayama and stopped in Matse and Shimane Prefecture just to hang out with my wife, see my dog, see the family. So instead of coming up through the south into Tottori from Okayama, we're kind of cutting from the west in, which is great news because you've probably seen on social media this like crazy vertical kind of warped bridge. Well, that's what we're heading to go ride over. So once we ride over that bridge, we leave Shimane and go into Tottori. There it is, folks. So as you can see, yeah, it's definitely, it's got that wonk in it. And but I think we can all agree that the images you see on Instagram, etc., are a little bit warped. It's definitely not as sharp an angle as it looks on all those silly photos. Still, you know, it's a cool bridge. It's got that wonk in it, but that's the reality. So all these idiots reposting Instagram shots of this bridge as being like this straight up vertical thing. Nah, man, it's pretty cool. Like here we are at the crest, you know, there's some height, it's beautiful views, but it's not that extreme. So dispel that reality. Well, dispel that bullshit. That's the reality we just saw. But what this means now is we are in Tottori Prefecture officially. This is number 16. They're going down fast, folks. They're coming down fast. So we're in the area now called Sakai Minato. It's kind of a fishing port zone. When the season is on, this area is super famous for snow crabs. My wife and her family will come here often to hit this fish market, which I'm going to swing past today and just see how it looks there. But before that, we're going to go check out this little area that's famous for its anime. I have no idea where bike parking is. Maybe I'll ask this guy. Sumimasen! バイクの駐車場はこの辺でなんかありますか？
バイクの駐車場ですか？
はい。
すみません。この辺の方ですか？この辺の方ですか？なんかバイクの駐車場ってですか？
そこの駐車場は普通にバイクが。
ありがとうございます。良い一日を。Okay, so we just throw some money in the box. You take this envelope out, you write your date, the model and the license plate number on here, put the money in and drop it in the box. Let's go explore this little town.
This street is dedicated to Gegege no Kitaro, the work of Shigeru Mizuki, who was born here.
This is kind of cool place.
His stories are built on yokai, spirits, ghosts, things that live just out of sight. Not horror, but more like folklore that never really left. Hundreds of these statues line this road, watching, hiding in plain sight. You don't rush through a place like this, you just kind of drift. It was very cool.
Now, as with all towns like this, where there is a theme, you're going to find one thing that's common with all these places, and that is a spot to get ice cream. Arigatou gozaimasu. Oishisou. You want some ice cream? Now, there's more to see here, further down the road, but I want to get out on the road and keep exploring. So we're going to go do that. Awesome start to the day. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Why am I not feeling my phone anywhere? I literally had it in my hands just a few seconds ago. I think it was so stupid. Alright, side stand just slipped backwards and then she went down. First drop of the bike, just scuffed that a little bit, but otherwise, not even a mark. Thank God for having big gear on the sides. That sucked. Hey Adam, you've been riding that Pan America ST for a while across Japan. You ever dropped it? Yeah, once in a little parking lot. I'm doing exactly 0 kilometers an hour. Well, I got a workout in today at least. And I was sure the whole side of my bike was going to be like all caved in and something, but there's not even a scratch on it. I'm so happy about that. Alright, we're here at the fishery market now. Hopefully it's better than the one we went to in Bizan in Okayama. Okay, and we're here. This time I'm going to make sure my stand is down. Yes, it's down. This is not folding backwards. I would be a little paranoid about that for a while. Just turned up at the fish market, noticed a sign that said no filming, so I'm asking for permission right now. So we'll find out if we can get permission or not. Right now, this really nice lady is just calling up the head office to make sure. We'll see. OK ですか？ありがとうございます。
お店の方は全然いいんですけど、他のお客さんはあんまり映らないので。
じゃあ。We saw. Wow, check these guys out. Oh man, I wish if I was on my bike, I'd buy so much. Oh man, check it out. Oh, we got shrimp. Everything is tasty. Absolutely love crab, man. Super huge fan.
After the fish market, I follow the coast with Mount Daisen off in the distance. I had planned to head inland to Nagere-do, a small temple built high in a cave in the mountains. I called ahead, but it turns out you're not allowed to hike up solo. With the wind picking up along the coast and the snow still sitting on the mountains, it didn't make sense to push it, so I stayed by the sea. My next stop was Mukibanda Yayoi Remains, where I met Maida-san. He was in his 80s but full of energy, walking me through the old houses and the history of the site.
頭気をつけてくださいね。
はい、気をつけます。
頭打ったら
This is a low entranceway.
はい、これ貼ってください。
Grab these ropes.
ここにはちょっとここが大きいんです。
Over 2,000 years ago, this was a working community. Houses, storage buildings, and daily life spread across this hillside. Most of what stood here is gone, but the layout remains, and with a bit of imagination, you can really start to see it. Maida-san walked me through it, explaining how people lived, stored food, and built these houses.
It's crazy how small this entrance is. Look at that. That's awesome, man. Keeps the bears out. ありがとうございます。
まあ気をつけて。
気をつけます。
北海道まだ先です。
そうですね。もう遠い。じゃあ良い一日を。ありがとうございます。
From there, I decided to head for Aoshima Camping Ground. Normally, you have to book 3 days in advance, even though it's free. I called anyway and got lucky. The lady on the phone was kind enough to squeeze me in.
That's the island where we're camping on right there.
There was one small catch. The campsite is on an island that you can't ride onto. So everything had to come off the bike and go across the bridge by hand. Not ideal, but honestly, I didn't mind. Alright, so we got the tent set up. Sunrise should come in over there. Should be perfect, waking up nice and early. If you're wondering what life's like after I get off the bike, this is pretty much what I do. So I just start copying data straight into the hard drives, and then with what energy and what power I have left on the computer, I do a little bit of editing each night. This is my life from the road. It doesn't suck, but yeah, it'd be nicer just to kick back and have a beer and go to sleep. Yoo-hoo. Look, it's Reef. Hey, good morning, guys. It's 5 a.m. I'm gonna get packed up and hit the road early today. Man, I'm so tired. Bunch of campers turned up. I don't know what time it was, like almost midnight. Just started making tons of noise, woke me up. I had to ask them to chill, which luckily they did. But yeah, kind of, cut the sleep in half for a while. It's not meant to be windy today until later this afternoon, but it's already kicking up pretty good, so I'm going to try to pack up and get out of here before the wind gets too strong. I think today it's going to start gusting like 60, 70 kilometers an hour, so I don't want to be caught in that. So we're going to hit the road and go check out some cool stuff and then head into the city. Whew. Heading that way. I'm going to go check out a desert. Check out my crazy morning hair.
To the people of this town, thank you very much for letting me camp on your beautiful island there. Really, really picturesque. I mean, just what a spot, huh?
From camp, I headed towards the Tottori sand dunes, Japan's only real desert-like landscape.
That's the start of the sand dunes right here, so they're all back off of there.
These dunes were formed over thousands of years as sand from the nearby river was carried out to the coast and shaped by the wind. They stretched for 16 kilometers, constantly shifting with the weather.
Just a little bit windy. Holy hell. I'm losing my hat.
After the dunes, I just went for a ride. So far, Tottori hadn't really delivered many fun roads, so I made the most of the time I had. I knew the weather was turning. Strong winds were coming in and heavy rain by mid-afternoon. So I booked a hotel and headed back out while I still could.
It feels good to and make some corners again. Look at that, beautiful. All right, this is awesome. Yeah, baby. This is sweet. This is. And look at that view. Hang on, I gotta kick across here. There we go. I can show you this view, guys. Oh. Look at that.
With a bit of time before check-in, I stopped in at the Watanabe Art Museum. And it turned out to be something special. Hundreds of pieces. Samurai armor, swords, some behind glass, some completely open. It's not the typical museum setup. You're right up close to everything. And the way it's all laid out just works.
You know, Hollywood would have you believe that, you know, the samurai were above using firearms. That was the sword with the Shido. But it couldn't be further from the truth. They were a warrior class, and as such, they chose the best weapons to win the war, to win the battle. So, of course, when firearms came along, proved that they were more effective. They 100% embraced that. And you can see that with these beautiful muskets here. I mean, they're all imbued beautifully with the crests of the clan.
That was super cool. So Takata-san, who's the manager of this museum, I think, I'm not sure if it was manager or owner, just came out to check out the bike. I didn't have the cameras rolling, but we just chatted bikes for a while. He's a Kawasaki rider, so it's pretty cool. Doesn't matter where you go, you're going to meet people who love bikes and just want to talk and look at bikes. So that was super awesome. So the plan now is I found a really good looking, like super, looks like a delicious ramen shop. It's not far from the hotel. So I'm going to ride to the hotel, drop the bike and the bags off, and then go get some ramen. So once I'm done with that, I'll be able to check in. So we're going to go do that. Should be fun. God, it looks so tasty. I'm salivating. Ooh.
All right, so gear's dropped off at the hotel. Time to go and check out some ramen. I'm so hungry. Man, I wish people would update their Google Maps for the business hours. That's the ramen shop. All right, found another ramen shop about a minute away. Hopefully they're open.
So I kept walking and ended up at Hima Ramen.
Gosh, cold beer, cheers.
I met a super cool guy working there. The ramen was amazing. The beer was cold.
That's awesome. That's exactly what I wanted today.
I signed the guest book and called it a win.
Okay. That's it. So, Ramen Hinma in Tottori City. Just check it out. Really good, great service, great people, fantastic ramen. Sweet. Now, hotel, sleep. See you guys in Hyogo. Let's go. Yoo-hoo! Tottori, baby. Yeah.